All right. uh, Another freestyle. I don't rap, not even a little bit. The insanity of pursuing dreams. Now, as I get into this, or before I get into this, I want to make it perfectly clear that I have not achieved anything worth bragging about. Not famous, not rich, haven't started a business. So if that's going to affect your desire to listen to me, it is what it is. However, I don't believe that that makes my perspective invalid. But going forward, I was reflecting on like the direction that I feel that the modern world is going, and that is in the direction of maybe I don't know, I don't have like one word or maybe even one statement that can sum it up. Instead, I think I have to refer to a few different points. So I was speaking to a mentor of mine about the new age, the new age being like if you want a job, right? Right now, you can put in an application and you can go get a job, or at least you can apply for the interview and maybe you can get the job. And that's one thing, that's understandable, that's respectable, that's great. It's many things. But you go back far enough, and at least in, you know, the history of the United States, that wasn't always the case. It didn't quite work that way. And I'm sure that this rule applies, or this idea applies across all of the world, all of mankind, humankind, and even if there's some intellectual societies beyond our realm of knowledge that exists in a way similar to ours, it probably works that way for them too. But maybe in the 1900s, like 1910 or 1870 or 1752, it's making dates up. It doesn't matter really the date, like you just decide. Um, but maybe for a more relevant reference, keep it in context of American history. You come here, whether you were a Native American or you came here from another country, it wasn't, you couldn't go get a job at the convenience store down the street. Couldn't get a job at the fast food place. Couldn't get a job at the grocery retail store. You couldn't get a job as the office manager. You couldn't get a job as the accountant. You couldn't get a job as the front end manager, I mean, I don't know, you name it. You might be able to get a job if you went to the dude who started a farm and you're like, hey, I'll help you on your farm for something to eat if society at that point didn't even have a money, like a universal money. I'll help you for some silver, I'll help you for some cloth, I'll help you for a ride so that you let me ride the horse to town. I mean, I don't know. So if that's not the case, you have to create your opportunity. You have to be the farmer and you have to lay the tracks to the train. Like it has to be your idea. It has to be your idea to mine the caves for the metals that you need. Search the ground, dig up the ground for the oil that you need to sell to the person who understands the use in your product. Now, because of my lack of knowledge, I can't come up with too many examples, but that's not as important as what I'm about to say. So, the insanity behind the pursuit of dreams is that, you know, is, for the sake of reference, if there was an oil man in 1850 something, he knows what oil is, and he has an idea of where it comes from, and he's heard some words, he's heard some information about where he can find it. So he goes there with whatever his resources are, and he starts to dig. And he's in Texas, or what will be recognized as Texas eventually, and he heard about oil being under like some farmer's land, and he starts digging. His Now, to better illustrate this idea, let's assume that he makes it. Like, he finds oil, and he finds so much oil that he becomes a legendary man, and his seed, his bloodline is known for it. But before all of that happens, take away the presuppositions that followed and enter the mind frame of the individual in that time. He doesn't know for certain whether or not he's going to find anything worth value, anything unexpected, but especially what he's looking for. And so, if I understand correctly, insanity is to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So imagine he's sitting there with like a pick, a shovel, and he's been digging 6 feet, 8 feet, however long it takes, conventionally to get to oil. Maybe even a little longer. So much so that the people around him are like, maybe you should give up, man. Maybe you're not gonna find what you're looking for. Furthermore, maybe some of those people are working for him. He's talked them into helping them dig. He's like, hey man, like look, I'm telling you, there's oil here. There's oil here, man. And if you help me dig, I'm gonna take care of you if we find it. He talked you into it. But his patience was greater than yours. So eventually you get tired of digging and you're like, look, dude, I've been helping you for 2 months now, and we don't have nothing, and we're running out of food, we're running out of water. I'm sick of this, man. I'm leaving. Or I'm leaving and you need to pay me, right? Whatever. I mean, I don't want to get into those dynamics, but you're just over there looking at this guy dig insanely. He keeps scooping and throwing it, scooping and throwing it. He's doing the same thing, and he's expecting something other than what's happening. He's expecting oil. But everything is saying, there's no oil here, man. This dude is insane. But he's only insane if he doesn't find it. My point isn't to focus too much on this particular example, but just the idea of the degree of necessity of insanity, at least as it pertains to pursuing a dream, a goal, a desire. I've heard many people talk about this. Like, just for the sake of example, I've heard Will Smith say, you just have to decide like that's what it's going to be, and you have to believe that something other than what's happened for millions of years is going to happen. And it's crazy. It's insane, but it's necessary. And what takes it to even another level of what takes it possibly even beyond insane to stupid is that you may you may not live long enough to see your dream come true. You might pass away before it ever happens. But had you lived long enough, you would have made it. And that can even go down another lane. But this video is already at 10 minutes, 40 seconds. And I gotta conclude it. But anyways, yeah. So just this idea about insanity, but not just any type of insanity, but as it pertains to pursuing a dream, it's necessary, but at your own risk. What's it? Viewer discretion is advised. There has to be some type of disclaimer associated with it, but this video is too long, so on to the next one.